And welcome back to The Average White Guys. My name's Alex Haynes, one of the owners of A Squared, and we help you turn those likes into dollars through conversion and ROI. And I'm here, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, with the font of knowledge of all things. If he was a book, he would actually be multiple books. If he was a library, he'd be the whole library. That's right, I'm talking about the one, the only, the most knowledgeable, the most learned, Justin Scout of LOW.
Hey everyone, this is Justin with LOW Properties and Community Real Estate Services. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
And Justin, what are we talking about tonight?
What I like to learn.
That was not the title.
Oh, okay.
You had one job, and that was not
I can
the
butcher
title.
those things sometimes.
The title was supposed to be my favorite thing.
Oh, that's what it is. I'm learning though.
Yeah.
No, we're learning.
Okay.
No, the favorite. Oh, sorry.
Now I'm going to do it. Yeah, you killed the joke, man. It was going to be my favorite thing. And then I was going to go, oh, me. And you're going to like, no, learning. And I was going to sob and cry and then, throw myself off a building because,
So I'm learning how to be better at the intros.
No, you're not.
Okay.
No, you are not. Fail. Okay. So we're talking about things you're learning today, which
correct.
Actually is pretty interesting because we talked a little bit about this beforehand.
Yes.
What you learning about, Justin?
Well, I have to give a shout out to my dad. I think this is a unfortunate thing that he's passed on to me. I'm like reading 3 or 4 books at the same time. I always do that.
So I want to start by thanking my dad, and it's unfortunate he passed it on to me. That's not how we say thank you.
Well, it's a double-edged sword. Okay, is what it is.
So you passed on.
He's passed it on me. He used to always read 3 or 4 books at one time.
The love of reading.
Yes.
And multiple books at once.
Yes.
You are.
But it's a curse at the same time as well.
Okay.
Well, because
they get jumbled in your head.
You should not be reading 3 or 4 books at the same time. I don't know. It's my whole squirrel thing that I go through.
As long as you can keep them separate. Well, I'd be concerned is reading 3 or 4 books.
Okay.
And then somehow thinking they're one book because that's how my brain works.
Okay. So one of them's about philosophy and one is about menopause. So I really hope I don't mess those 2 up and combine them, right?
That could be a problem.
That would be dangerous. Yes.
Especially if you're trying to console the person with menopause with some type of philosophy. You say the wrong thing. You sleep on the couch.
That's it.
You are sleeping or in the garage.
Depends on who we're talking to. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That could go wrong really fast.
So one of the books that I'm reading right now is The Courage to be Disliked.
The Courage. And who's this by?
That's a great question. And the reason I say that is because it's 2, I think it's Asian authors.
Okay.
And I cannot pronounce their names.
Oh, great.
But I can tell you what the philosopher is that they base the book on.
Uh-huh.
It is Alfred Adler, and it's Adlerian philosophy.
Okay.
He was a student with Freud at the time. And so it kind of gives his different perspective of why, he didn't really talk about the differences between him and Freud, but it goes into just telling his philosophies and how they do differ every once in a while. So I don't really get into a lot of philosophy books, but I know you are interested always in the psychology of how to, let's not say manipulate, because that's never a good thing
100%.
In society.
Oh, yes, but I like to be honest. So. No, yeah, I do actually love psychology, as you pointed out, because for many reasons. I love to understand myself, and with more understanding helps me be better in a lot of different things. Understanding how my brain works, how I think, even helping me avoid making mistakes, right? I'm all about hacking myself. I've talked about that on this podcast before. I've hacked myself, or I've figured out, set myself up for success by working with how my brain thinks versus trying to train it to do something else.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of looking at the direction my brain's going and figuring out how to leverage that versus try to make it go up the river versus down the river.
Well, and we were joking about manipulating, but it was also one of those today. We sat down for a while because you're helping us with our marketing right now.
Oh, absolutely.
And what I loved about how you had like 50 questions.
Oh, it was a lot.
It was some detail there.
That was part 1.
Yes. Okay. But what I loved about it was how you were able to get some answers out of us that we could not think of. And then once we got thinking of it, it came easily to us because you gave us examples. So you were able to get into our kind of mindset of what we were looking for. How do we treat clients? Why are we looking for certain clients? Why do we not want certain clients? And I think that's where the philosophy comes into it. Psychology comes into it, trying to get those things out of people. To get the most out of what it is.
Yeah, we leverage that in everything we do. And if you're interested, www.asquaredpro.com. Quick little shout out to my company. Shameless plug. They'll probably get edited out. Yeah. No, but we love that. But let's and I love the fact you brought that up. However, I want to know more about this book. What are you learning from it?
One of the things how it talks about is how being in relationships actually can cause so many problems.
Yes.
And
As a
yes, right?
nurturer, like, yes, I love people
Yeah,
and I hate them at the same time. It's a conflict I have
it is.
every day.
Because we do everything in life based off of the perception of what other people are thinking
Yeah.
and how they're going to react.
Yes.
And we don't want to, I don't think most of us want to admit that. And one of the things it also talks about is when you're in relationships, you are always in one aspect thinking that what you're thinking is right.
100%.
And so then conversations are sometimes about arguments. Now, everybody wants a good solution at the end, and that's
Mm.
where a good relationship comes in.
Yeah.
But even in marriage, when you have, like, I've been married 26 years and we have a really great relationship, but it's one of those that sometimes you have this conversation, you want your way to be right.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's weird if you think about it, every relationship then
Mhm.
is problematic,
Oh,
no
100%.
matter how good it is.
Oh, yeah.
But we can't live, our humans can't live without others.
Yeah. I have a statement I make that offends a lot of people until they think about it. And I say, "Look, everyone's selfish." And immediately people are like, "I'm not selfish." I'm like, "Yes, you are.
Hmm.
You 100% are selfish. Everything you do is about you. You just don't like admitting that. But that's okay. It's okay to be selfish or self-interested. What we do then to make sure we aren't only selfish is we serve others. Like that, we have to move beyond that. But our initial instinct is to protect self. We're built that way. We're engineered to be that way. If you want to talk about evolution, or even if you believe in creation, like we were created or engineered, or we evolved into self-preservation. Like that's a thing. It's rare when someone's not, and we call those people heroes, right? But it's the instinct is to not be that way.
I mean, it's as simple as self-interest is wanting to make, most of us want to make sure that we're looking good
Yeah.
and it makes us feel better.
Yeah.
But it's also one of those things that's, if I'm in Toastmasters, and
Mhm.
what do they say? The most feared thing in life besides death is actually, over death, is public speaking.
Mm.
And why are people afraid of public speaking?
How they're perceived.
They're going to look like a dumbass.
Mm.
That's the biggest thing. Because if I didn't give a crap about what somebody thinks about me, how my speech is, how I'm looking up there, you need to use the hand gestures need to be right. You need to use the audience certain ways. And if you didn't care about that, or you were dynamite at it, then you're not going to be afraid of it. So your perception is that you are worried about what they're going to think of you
Yeah.
during that speech.
Yes. And this
You know-
maybe surprise you, because you've seen me speak publicly a
Mhm.
couple times. Have you ever considered that I'm afraid of it? Has it ever come across your mind that I don't like public speaking?
Not at all.
Little unknown fact. Every time I get up to public speaking, I am terrified for half a second. I have a problem, just like everyone else. My issue is the fear that goes to my head is, what if they don't like it? What if they laugh at me? What if this goes horribly wrong? What if I forget everything? What if I fail? Then I get past it. I don't know how I do that part. If I knew how to do that, I'd be a multimillionaire because I teach people, right? I'd have the best selling book, How to Get Over Your Fear, right? But I get up. Like if you next time I speak, watch very, very carefully my hands, you'll see a tremble for like half a second until I get into it, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
For me, doing is getting over my fear. And I've had to learn, just do it and then go with it.
Perseveration, is that right?
Self-preservation, yeah.
Yeah.
Self-preservation, I guess.
Preservation, thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't sound like I was
Preservation, I think it is,
didn't
yeah.
sound like I was saying that right. But again, it's because of that we want to look good in front of other people.
But there's also, like, to your point, am I one of the most prepared speakers in our group?
Yes.
There's a reason. I prepare so I do better. Like, more so than everybody else in the group, I am fearful. Therefore, I have the best presentation because I want to present my best version and I put in the time and effort to make sure. So that's how I overcome this. I work on it.
Yeah. And that's all we can do is just keep doing it more and more, and then we're going to get better at it.
I remember the first time we did, I used to shoot videos for another company, and it was in the very early stages of our business. Oh my goodness. I was so nervous. I think we did at one point 55 takes of one sentence because I just couldn't say it. I couldn't say the name. I'd get the name right, and then I forget the rest of the sentence, or I'd get like halfway through, and then he'd be like, "Great, now do it again without stuttering." And I'm like, "I didn't stutter." He plays back the video. Yeah. "Can you do it again without sweating bullets?" I'm like,
No.
"No."
A couple of times you helped me through a couple items that we were working on.
Yeah.
You're like, nope, do this. Nope, nope. Did you listen to yourself? I'm like, damn, I really did that. Yeah.
And I can only say that because I went through it. Like, it was abysmal. You ask my producer, who's been with me through all this, I was crap on our first couple of videos. I was awful. Like, awful is a nice, kind word of how bad I was.
Well, I think you have canceled the first 20 podcasts we actually did together because I felt like I was horrible. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I'm not saying I'm the greatest now, but I'm like, I'm definitely better than I was 20 podcasts ago.
Comparatively,
Yeah.
it sounds like both of us have done this forever.
Yeah.
Like, we've come a long way.
I'm glad you feel that way about me. So thank you.
I think you've done an amazing job. All right. So this book.
So this book, and it was, I know we kind of got off subject, but it was in there because it's talking about how we look at ourselves, how the past develops us as well. And in the Adlerian psychology, the past should have to do nothing about where you are going.
Yeah.
And how you look at things in life.
That's a hard one.
That was the hardest. And what's interesting about this book is there is a teacher per se and almost a 15-year-old student coming in, and he's asking all these questions because he's having a hard time. He doesn't like himself. He doesn't like people. He doesn't want to get in relationships. And so they're having this conversation between the two, and he's trying to answer these questions in using the Adlerian psychology. So it was fun in that way for me.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of a storytelling and it's an interaction.
Yeah. And I probably would agree with a lot of the statements because I also believe your past shouldn't dictate your future, but it influences how you perceive your now. Yes. And if you don't address that, it will affect your future. But there are tactics and things you can do to undo that or leverage them. And we've talked about like how I've leveraged my brokenness, and I call it brokenness because my brain is different than other people. I've learned to leverage it to be amazing. I'm gonna pat myself on the back and call myself amazing. Sorry,
you should have that confidence in yourself. Everybody should.
Remember, I got up the other day in front of our group and said, "Hey, they spent $55 million on this, and they blew it. I could have done a better job." Yeah. And then someone's like,
talking about
I was talking about commercials, right? And
Super Bowls. Yeah.
Someone came up and goes, "I know it sounds like Keynes is like full of himself, but then I realized he's absolutely right, and I should have that same type of confidence in my business. I've actually worked with Alex." And he's right. He probably could, if someone gave him that budget, he probably would have done a better job.
Yeah.
And I will do a better job with a big budget. And he was like, he got inspired by what I said because I believed I could do it. Like I really do.
Yeah.
It's not,
most people don't have that confidence.
Yeah.
So it's great to have.
But it comes from having some of these conversations. You ask my friends and family, I've had to unpack a lot of my personal trauma and know that I have trauma and I've leveraged it. Like I've used my trauma to create it as a strength.
Yeah.
Like and redirect where my future could be. So I'd probably find this book really interesting. Is it on Amazon?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And what's interesting about this is when we were talking about psychology in the sense of there's Freudian. What's the other one? Jung
is another one I like.
Yes. Yeah. I think they all came around the same era from what I remember as well.
I want to say Nietzsche isn't, maybe, is he I know he's a writer. I don't know if he's a psychologist though. I know a lot of people quote him, Nietzsche.
Yes, I've heard that as well. And so where I was going with this though is psychology. There's just different viewpoints on psychology, how it works. I mean, Freudian has some way out there philosophies, right? So
how do you feel about your mother?
Yeah, right. So it's just an interesting book for me to read right now, just because it's given me a different perspective on viewing how people are, how they act, why they act the way they are. So I think it's a fun read that way as well.
Oh, it can be very enlightening. And I tell people once you understand yourself, you can understand people better.
Yeah.
Also, when you understand people better, you give them a lot more grace.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And that always opens doors to communication and allows you to do some really cool things. At least in my world. Yeah. But then again, you and I've talked about this. I study psychology, not to understand where people are, but how to affect where they're going.
Gotcha.
But that's my take on how I use psychology. So you did this book, but you said you're doing like 4 books and like learning a bunch of things.
Yeah,
so is there
2 of them
things?
are on the same thing. 2 of them are by an author called Stacy Sims.
Okay.
And she is a marathon and Ironman runner.
Yeah.
But her 2 books out that she has is on menopause. So
And are you, Justin, going through menopause?
no.
Is there something you want to
Luckily,
tell
I am
us?
not going through menopause. No,
Okay.
I am not.
Are you
But-
coming clean about your gender?
And I'm
how you assume
so
it?
I hope my wife doesn't get upset with this, but my wife is currently going through premenopause right now.
I don't see how, because she's so young and beautiful.
Yes.
Hopefully she does hear that
Well,
and still likes me
that's
after
it.
this podcast.
So with that, she was been doing a lot of research.
Yeah.
And working out is different from 20s to 30s to 40s to 50s. Obviously, no matter where you're at in your cycle,
No matter where,
of life.
Well, yeah, but this is true for men and women. Like
It is.
for men, it's testosterone.
Yes.
And 40 is that number, right? Once you hit like this magical 40 number, like things your body start changing, you producing less, and you start struggling with fitness, and people who get that, the dad bod, they call it, the bare belly, more readily.
Correct.
So I think both genders have this issue.
They do. Luckily for me, because I've been working out for 10 plus years, I've been able to
about that.
Yeah.
I've never heard you ever talk about health and wellness. You work out? What?
So that is not a problem for me, luckily at this point. So, but my wife is going through it, and she works out religiously as well.
Yeah.
But she's just having some struggles with.
I've been in your gym when your wife works out, and I feel like a weak little baby. There's another word I was going to say, but I was not supposed to swear as much, but it starts with a B, and ends with a different one.
You're a little bitch.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right.
I feel like a weak little baby bitch. I've seen her lift, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's my entire weight. She just lifted. Oh my goodness. Please don't get angry at me. Please don't hit me. I will be flying across the room. She's a beast when she works out. She's awesome. Both of you guys, I see it when you guys work out. You push each other. It's amazing. I want to feature somebody like that. If you work out and are single, let me just get your number real quick. No, but seriously, your wife is awesome, and I've seen her work out. So,
but she is still she's in spite of all that, she is gaining a little weight and can't figure out how to lose the weight.
Right.
And so that's very frustrating her. And she's kind of thinking, well, I have been able to do it in the past. Why can't it do it now? I'm walking, I'm doing.
Girlfriend, I get it. I have that struggle too. Mine is a different issue though, but go continue.
So she knows she's going through premenopause, perimenopause, however you want to say it. And so we've been listening to some podcasts about this, and the Stacey Sims is in a lot of podcasts if you do the research. And so she has 2 books out. One's called Next Level. The other one is called Roar.
Roar.
Next Level actually.
Roar?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Sorry.
Next Level actually talks about just women in menopause and dealing with their periods and menstruational cycles and stuff like that.
I'm going to run to go pick up this book. This sounds amazingly information I don't need to know right now.
My wife was reading it as well, and she even says the first 4 or 5 chapters are just completely boring because of the fact of it goes into why the whole cycles work and everything. So in that aspect, yes, it is boring there. But then
skip to chapter 6.
That's it. Then it gets into it. But then this was about 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then women were asking her, hey, well, they were just talking about women's cycles. That's what that book was about.
Sure.
Roar is about dealing with it in premenopause.
Okay.
And above into menopause.
Sure.
And so I'm trying to help my wife learn these things and give a different aspect of it and the education of it. So just so is this the wrong say? So I can go through it with her, the experience in that aspect.
No, I think that's huge. Like, look, I joke, I'm single. I don't have a wife yet being the key word. Maybe this podcast will help. Maybe it won't. Probably not. But from someone who's seen a healthy marriage, my parents are married. They love each other. Sickeningly, they call each other the love of their lives, which is so great and amazing. Like to have parents who've been married for so long, who still deeply in love with each other, and who only have platonic love, I'm sure, never touching each other because I don't want to think about that. I see what a healthy relationship looks like. And when I see you guys, I see the same thing. So to hear a man go, hey, I want to go through it with my wife and support her, I think in my mind, that is the pinnacle of what a man should be. That is manliness. So from one man to another, I congratulate you for being a stand-up man and caring for your wife, because that's what you should be doing.
Thank you.
Good job, man. Because I know the culture would say, well, you're a man, don't worry about it. Let her figure it out. And I think,
yes, even in this book, she talks about it, how in society and sports and stuff like that, it's taboo to even talk about it because one, people just don't know, even women don't know that much about how the whole process works because there's so much medical issues. One of the things I've learned about it is it's different between different countries and cultures. I would have never thought that some cultures are experience things so much lower than other cultures.
Mm.
So there's just fun little facts that I've learned that
Someone who's actually traveled the world quite literally, yes, it
Yeah.
is very different in everywhere. And man, I don't even know how to explain. Like, as much as I love the United States, and we are the number one country in the world, I don't care who you are, but we are. There are some things we could be enlightened to.
Mm.
That's one of them.
yes,
That's
definitely.
definitely like the whole understanding women thing, and like not like talking about just biology and understanding biology. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing if you didn't make it so weird.
Yes.
So there's that.
So those are the books. I am reading one other book, but
No,
that wasn't going to.
I know so I work out with you and your wife sometimes, and she was mentioning she's actually changed her workout habits
Yes.
to deal with this, right?
Correct.
So I think she's like doing yoga and some other like low impact stuff because this book has really helped give her some insight, right?
Yes, a lot of things that once they get into their premenopause, and again, talk to your doctor about this because this is just my understanding of
This
it
is
from
our great
reading.
time to say if you're having issues, please go
Yes.
see a doctor, not ChatGPT, not Dr. ChatGPT,
Yeah.
like an actual doctor
That's it.
who went to school and is a real
Well,
human.
What's interesting though too is when she talks about this because she is a doctor,
Mhm.
and she wanted to do so much research because she went to her doctor, and her doctor was even a female,
Mhm.
and her doctor didn't know much about how the whole cycle works for them.
Mhm.
So there is a very little information on it compared to everything else out there in the world on how to adapt to it.
Yeah.
So with that though, she has said that one of the things she's having to work on right now is strength training.
Mhm.
But it's a balancing act there because if you haven't built up the strength over the years and now you're getting into menopause, you're having to deal with osteoporosis, which is the weakening of the bones.
Mm.
And women go through this a lot.
Oh,
And so if you haven't been building that up over the years, you don't want to just start getting into weightlifting all of a sudden because they could be fragile.
yeah, that could be I can see that being
Yeah.
shattered bones are bad.
Injure
right?
yourself so much easier.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's all bad.
So what I don't think a lot of people understand though about bodybuilding or weightlifting per se is
Yeah.
it's not just the muscles that you're building. The more muscles that you build, you actually are building stronger bones.
Hmm.
And so it goes hand in hand. And
I'm
so
starting to realize why I'm always in pain when I work out with you. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
My bones literally are hurting. I am not just complaining.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
So she's having to deal with that of kind of going, okay, she was so used to doing so much cardio before, trying to maybe run more often, but now it's walking is better instead of that. She's working on yoga, mobilities.
Yeah.
She doesn't do it, but I hear Pilates are excellent.
That's the bouncy ball one?
No, I don't know. It's not definitely not the bouncy ball one. They may do it in there, but it's using more like your own strength for training. Do your own research on it. Pilates is yeah, I don't know enough about it because I don't do
I
it.
feel like it's a weird yoga, like with light weights, maybe.
It's using weights for yoga, stretching, those
Okay.
type of things. But again, very little I know about it. But I hear it's one of the most beneficial for women and even men.
Where's
the older-
Zumba fit into all this? That dance one.
That's the 80s.
80s. Oh, is that
Yes,
80s?
that's
Oh,
what,
sorry.
let's.
I was just grasping at things I remember, and of course I'm going to remember.
maybe that's when Taibo was around
That
as well.
Taibo?
Yes. So
I
let's
know
just keep that in those
let's
eras.
keep that. Let's keep that in the VHS player, in the VHS tapes, in the player, and walk away, Haynes.
So why I bring some of this up as well
Mhm.
is progesterone. Hopefully I'm saying progesterone.
You're going to say that to me today
Yeah,
on this day in America. Thank you very much. How dare you? What
So-
did you just say?
I hope I don't even know. It's one of the hormones
Oh, it's a hormone.
like estrogen, testosterone, those type of things.
Okay.
But it fluctuates a lot with women, especially when they get into this.
Mhm.
Now, I hope we're not boring our audience with this, but I actually found it interesting.
Of course you did.
And part of the reason I'm bringing this around is, we have the cold plunge. We've talked about that on here. We have
Okay,
a
so for
sauna as
those
well.
wait, let me explain something to people, because there are people out there who've never heard of a cold plunge, and for good reason, because you purposely go into a cold, almost ice cold bath on purpose. Why? Well, because they're insane, and we need to protect these people. So that's for why we're voting no
Yeah.
an ice bath. No, what is an ice bath? What does it do? It's actually supposed to be healthy for you.
It is, and I'm going to get to that in a second.
Sounds crazy.
But some of the research, we also have the sauna, and we've been actually liking
That
this.
I can appreciate and agree with.
We've been
That-
actually liking the sauna a little bit better for obvious reasons,
Why?
correct?
You don't want to jump in ice cold water, freeze your everything.
But it's interesting for the progesterone. Again, if I'm butchering that, please, I apologize. Tell us in the comments, right?
Yeah. That's what
But-
the comment section's for.
It's one of those that she found out that if you you want to actually build up a good sweat, and that helps with balancing the levels of it.
Mm.
So the
Let's
hard part
plunge your
she's having
outs.
right now, cold plunges are not as good. It
Okay.
depends on when you take it.
Mhm.
So there's all these balancing acts of, yes, all these things like cold plunges, saunas, walking, running, they're all good, but you need to know how to balance it. And those are some of the things I'm learning right now.
So I will say I know about cold plunges, mostly because I watched a documentary.
Wim Hof.
No, there's the actor, Hemsworth. It was
Yeah.
Hemsworth. He discovered he has the DNA marker potential for Alzheimer's. And so he was learning how to combat that, how to get ahead of it. And one of the things you can do is it's extreme cold and extreme heat together. So you do one and then you do the other, and it shocks your body and it resets it. But it has to be absolutely almost like he was in Antarctica and
Yeah, I
he
saw
did
the episodes.
very,
Those were
very
actually
cold. So
pretty
he's
good.
talking about he installed a cold plunge where it gets down to like 30 degrees, almost freezing, right? Or below freezing in the water. There's
Yeah,
ways to
and,
treat
and
it.
I don't get that cold
Right.
because
And then he goes like super hot in the sauna, like over 100 something degrees. And he goes from one
they're
to the
normally
other.
around 125 to 130 is a good range. Yeah.
Yeah, but you do one and then you do the other and you go back to, and what it does is it shocks the instantaneous switch. It just shocks your system and it resets
Correct.
a lot of these things in your body. It triggers stuff.
Yes. So one of the things that I found out about the cold plunge though
Mhm.
is we got it a few years ago when it was the in thing.
Mm.
And it was talking about just do it all the time, blah, blah, blah. Well, now that we've done more research, you shouldn't be doing it all the time. You shouldn't be used.
I could have told you that.
It's only, well,
I don't know anything about this.
because one of the main reasons I wanted to do it is for inflammation.
Yeah, I've heard it's good after a
which is
workout.
excellent for inflammation. It's like when you end up getting, you twist an ankle, you hurt something on your body. They say put ice on it for the first 20 minutes to an hour, heat and off and on, right? Those type of things. So cold is good.
Mm.
It depends on when you're doing it.
Mm.
Like if I'm right now, I'm in a stage of trying to gain a little bit more muscle mass.
Mm.
So cold plunges are the opposite of what you want because you are trying to tear your muscles and have them regrow. Well, what it's doing, if you go to a cold plunge right afterwards, it's now restricting your muscles.
Mm.
So you're not getting that growth that you need from tearing them.
Cool. And my excuse for not getting tearing better muscles is not the cold plunge. So I don't have an excuse here. We'll come back to it then another time.
You're building up to it.
To the cold plunge or the muscles? Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
We're going to, we're not, no, thank you.
So but those are things that I wish we would have known before. And so at the beginning of this episode, right, things that I'm learning right now.
Yeah.
And so that was interesting to me. But I did find out something the other day. My brother-in-law was over and we were going over some workouts that he's doing and I'm doing. And he said a buddy of his is doing the cold plunge. He's doing it first thing in the morning. And to me, that's more psycho. I do it every once in a while, but it's
going to
hard.
wake you up.
It is. Oh, yeah. But I guess it gets more into the visceral fat in your body. So we have this. I
have a lot of that.
We all have fat, right? I mean, to be at 0% body fat is not actually good. You at least want to, even those who are extremely fit should be around 8 to 10% body fat.
Yeah, some of us have more than that. Continue. Tell me how this is going to make me skinny.
So what it does though is actually gets into the deep fat tissues.
That's all my fat. Okay.
And will help burn some of that.
Really?
And his friend
what time do I come over in the morning?
And his friend that has been doing it has actually made it past some weight loss that he couldn't get to by using it. So it definitely has its benefits.
How cold is the water again?
I'm
trying to figure out how bad I want to lose this weight.
See, there's the differences though too. He's doing his at about 35 degrees. I do mine at about 55 to 60.
I thought you said it was cold. 55 to 60 is like a shower.
No, actually a shower is more like 75, 80.
Well, that's if I put the heat on, but if you put the cold water on, isn't it like?
Because if you think about taking a cold shower at your house.
Yeah, I don't, but yes.
Okay, but if you did.
Yeah.
What's the temperature in your house?
If I don't have the heat on, like 62 degrees.
Okay, so your cold plunge might be getting down to that on a shower. But
sense.
Most homes, on average, are about 70 degrees, I think.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, so your ambient water temperature is about that.
Somebody's taking a cold shower. They're taking it at 70 degrees.
And ladies and gentlemen, ambient temperature is the 5-cent word of the day.
Yes. So, Matt, if you ever go to our oceans here on the Pacific coast,
yes, the one
especially in the north, yes,
go on.
are cold compared to most oceans, a lot of
Oh
oceans,
yeah,
right?
I'm from the other coast. So
Yeah.
East Coast, like we purposely go into the ocean. You know why? We don't have sharks.
Yeah.
Unlike you.
But the ocean temperature around here is 55 to 60 degrees.
Mm.
So if you've ever gone into the oceans
They're
around
colder
here,
Yes,
they're
for sure.
extremely, they feel extremely cold.
Yeah, they're not pleasant now.
No. So that's what I get into.
Yeah, somehow you guys are known as like the surf world on this coast. I don't understand.
Yeah. So
Yeah, the waves.
anyways,
The waves. Yeah.
so those are some of the things that I have been
So those
learning
are
right
3
now.
books. So you said there were like 3 or 4. Was there anything else?
Well, we did talk about it in another episode, Deep Work. I just finished that one.
And what? So just to remind us, if you missed the episode,
Yes.
because not everyone listens to every episode, even though you should, and hit that subscribe button. Every episode. Okay, go on.
Deep Work is just talking about if you have an office job, more like me, because it's not really construction related in that sense.
Mhm.
If you have a job where you're more at a desk type thing, is where this book is based off of.
Mhm.
It talks about college professors going for their tenure. So they have to do a lot of articles and still doing classes. And so it's where you have to do a lot of
What's the book about?
it's called Deep Work. And so what it's teaching you is sometimes, like me, we talk about squirreling.
Like you were doing during this, trying to explain what this is. Yes, I'm now following you. And this was a great example.
Fair enough.
So Deep Work was about helping you get focused.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for.
All right.
Thank you. No, it's good.
Thanks for throwing me under the bus.
You're
On that one.
100%. I was like, what is this book about? You're like, well,
I was getting there. It was the build up to it.
Oh,
No, okay.
no, we were going somewhere, but not there.
So that's what it is about, is training yourself to actually, even if you need to, 20 minutes a day, an hour a day, trying to find certain times where you focus on a big project.
Okay.
And because we all get distracted with phone calls, emails, texts, people coming into your office, clients calling you, getting distracted with all these minor things instead of actually getting a project done.
Yeah.
And so that's what that book is about, is trying to help you focus and get that deep work done that'll actually show you progress, like on your business.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
We have the trouble of taking on too many hats.
I have no idea what you're talking about as I lie through my teeth.
So it's one of those, it teaches us to kind of say, okay, yes, we do need to do all this stupid stuff that we hate to do to survive. But if we can take that hour, that 2 hours, and really get things done and focused, you're actually going to get more work done. Remember, we talked in the podcast, people don't remember or might not have watched it.
Which is your fault, not ours.
You're able to multitask and get things done.
Yeah, we finally found a limit, by the way. Anything past like 30, I start stopping the ball, because we have about 30 things, well, more. My list has gotten so bad that there was a conversation that happened in our company of you are now the problem. We need you to stop being the problem. And I went, yeah, I recognize that. So yeah,
those are some of the things it talks about. But it's also interesting in this book. It's trying to, it goes off of there's an author, Tim Ferriss, the 4-Hour Work Week.
Yeah.
He brings that up in this book as well.
And then we've talked about it. This goes block scheduling. We talked about the one thing.
Yes.
This is all very similar, just approached differently, right? Another way to approach this problem.
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe it'd be the right way for how you think. Like there's approaching it more than one way is good.
Yeah. Because he's thinking, his philosophy is if you can get this deep work done, then you don't have to take this work home with you as well. And then you can maybe spend more time on things that you enjoy. Yeah. As entrepreneurs, it's pretty hard, but
Fun story on that. I was lamenting that I wasn't doing enough work.
Lamenting. Okay. There's
two. There's two. 2 for 2. I was lamenting I wasn't doing enough work. And my business partner's like, what are you talking about? You're doing like 16-hour days. I'm like, no, I'm not. And I argued with him. He's like, okay, let's go over when did you start today? I was like, this time. Okay. Did you have a lunch? Yeah. How long was your lunch?
5 minutes. I got wolfed down
literally
something.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, well, 15 minutes. He goes, that's not a lunch. That's a break. Yes. So you did not have a lunch. You had a break. What time is it now? Well, this time. Are you done with working?
No.
Well, no. Well, we're at 10 hours and you're not done. How much more work do you have to? Like 2 or 3. He goes, that's a 12, 13-hour
day. Yes.
Well, you said 16. 13 is still pretty darn too much. Yes. He's like, most people work 8 or less. I'm like, oh. Well, it's just this one time. He goes, you want to go over the rest of the week? I went, no. He goes, you're going to disagree with me? Yes.
And I don't know everybody agrees with that philosophy that even you should be working
Alex
40.
Hormozi would
That's where I
argue
was just going to
that
say.
if you want a different life, work for that life. And that's where I agree with him. And that's why I have the right problem.
Well,
The problem is it's such a habit. Then when I don't, I feel empty. I have a different problem.
well, he even says his employees should be working almost 12 hours a week.
Yeah.
12 hours a day. Sorry. Almost 5 to 6 days a week.
My place.
Right, yeah, I'd rather-
I'd be like done.
No, they should be working 12 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week. And he says, if you are not, then we're not the right fit for you. So he's very open to saying, this is how we expect you to work.
You're working. Yeah. You
Yeah.
must love that. You're working
But
hard.
they grow and they understand it. And people, they get resumes day and night knowing that people will be fine with working those hours. So I'm not saying it's always a bad thing.
No.
But a lot of us don't want to have to work 12 to 14 hours. Kids come into play. You get older, you get tired, like me, who has to take a nap every day.
I'm right there.
So
I went to nap. Nap.
So those are I just finished Deep Work
Uh-huh.
in the middle of listening to the other ones as well.
Nice.
Yeah. So those are the books that I've been.
So those are your learning is your favorite thing, as we
It is.
know. If you did not know that coming into the podcast, gotcha.
Yes.
So I think these are great. All of these can be found on Amazon.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Well, and just so you know, I listen. I don't. Read.
Oh, Audible too.
they're all on Audible because
Oh, so you go.
I don't read. I read enough emails a day
You listen to the podcast, yeah.
that I listen to the podcast. Yes, sorry,
So
I listen to the
Amazon
books.
or Audible is where you can find them.
They're all on Audible.
I'm not sure we're gonna have the links in. We might not. I don't know
That's
what
up
we
to
do
Dawn.
on YouTube. That's up to my team, and my
Yes.
team's amazing. But I do make them work a lot, and they may not have time to put the links in. So if they're not there, it's my fault. But we'd love to know. Comment section about. Hey, if you know the book on Amazon or Audible, why don't you put the link in the comment for us? We'd love to see that. That'd be great. That would help us out a lot.
I'd also like to know any other books you guys recommend based off of these kind of conversations we're having.
You get to tell Justin to buy something and I get to deal with that later. Thank you so much. I mean, no, we can't wait to know what books you love to suggest. Really, that's a great idea. What books do you like? What audiobooks should we listen to? Why should we listen to them? Leave a comment in the section below because that tells us that you're actually listening and that you love us. If you want to show a little bit more love, and we need that love, we desperately, desperately need your admonishment and love.
One of us does.
I do. I need it. I'm so alone. No, I would love you to hit that like, ring that bell, subscribe, and share this with a friend or an enemy. I don't care who you send it to, just send it to somebody, because that would help us reach more people. And until next time, we are the Average White Guys.